Hi guys, Bill Thompson here from Spartan Forge. I wanted to do a quick video that kind of just summarizes some of my thoughts behind why I designed the Lambda layer or our customizable map the way I did. Some of the other user interface features that we've put into the application that I think are super useful for people once they're kind of deprogrammed on how they've used other apps in the past, which is, these other apps have been around for about 10 years. And what we were trying to do at Spartan Forge here was create an application that gave more information, had better usability, but required less interaction. So in other words, in order to set up something like public land and private land data layers in another state might require you something like 7 to 15 taps on the screen, whereas in Spartan Forge it's just 3. And then you can switch back and forth between other maps just by swiping. So very quick, I'll just cover kind of the basics here. So what I have here is the Lambda layer, and how I configure generally when I'm doing my scouting, how I configure this is I will turn on my trails. I don't use agriculture as much because I'm mostly hunting like big wood settings. To me, I'm more focused on the food in the big wood setting than I am on the agriculture. I'll turn on public and private land, and that's kind of the layer that I use to look around. And then once I find areas that interest me, I'll go to a secondary or third mapping setup, or the map setup that I use when I actually go in is generally just topo. Like once I know my trail, I've picked, I've scouted, I've done all of that. So inside of here, what I might do is I'll look at the area. I'm on the customizable map layer, which you can get to by swiping to it. It kind of looks like a triangle. It's the Greek letter L, or for Lambda. Or you can click the maps button at the bottom, and then I go through and I look at every layer of imagery that I have in this area. And depending on if it's early season or late season, again, I'm balancing whether I want the higher quality imagery, or if I have the UAV imagery available in the area, then I can go back in time and look at it. Or if I just, SAT2 usually has a more high contrast imagery, especially out east where I'm hunting, whereas SAT3 might be clearer, but it's generally at the same time of year. So I pick the one that I want. In this case, I'm going to go with SAT2. And then I start scouting around and looking in the areas. I've got some public over here. I'm going to start looking inside of here for things that interest me, whatever that might be, whatever the time of the season is going to dictate. When it's early season, I'm more looking for things like transition and bedding and staging areas, focusing on things like food and cover. And then as I move into the rut, I might be looking for more terrain features like bedding, knobs, doe bedding, scrapes. So all of those things kind of drive different reasons for why I use it. But again, what I was trying to do with the application here is you can access all of these features in the field with one thumb. So if you're dragging a deer, hopefully, or you are hanging a stand, or you are on stand and you don't want to create a lot of visual profile movement, you can just take the application out of your pocket and you can access it with your thumb. And with your thumb, you can get to the Intel tab, you can get to your tools, you can get to the My Content, you can get to the journal. But then on top of that, you can get to all of the tools just by clicking this compass. And then on this compass, I have wind direction, I have the cardinal direction, I have my 3D maps, I have place a pin, I have measuring, I have record my track, and I have Blue Force Tracker. All of this can be initiated and set up with my thumb. And then if I click that and minimize it, and I'm right-handed or I want to use my other hand, I can long hold on that compass and everything switches sides, and now I'm using it on the right-hand side. Again, if you've got does in front of you and you want to check something on the map, or you get an alert or something along those lines, you are just using your thumb when you're in the woods. The other thing is, if I've set up this customized map and now I just want to see what the topo looks like, this might be 7 or 8 clicks in another application, whereas in here I just swipe to the topo layer. It's one swipe and I'm there. Now I'm looking at topo, and then I swipe back and now I'm looking at my Lambda layer again. Or if I want to quickly reference, say I have set this up to be, say my Lambda layer is set up to be LiDAR and topo lines, and now I want to see a hybrid with imagery. Again, it's just 2 swipes. I'm there very quickly. I don't have to reconfigure anything, and then I'm back to my customized map. So that's kind of the purpose behind the Lambda layer. It's all about optimizing your time, ease of use. Requires a little bit of reprogramming, but once you're there, I think you'll really enjoy it. If you like this and you want to check it out more, go to SpartanForge.ai, use a code if you follow one of our pro staffers and get yourself 20% off and get mapping.